You will have to ask again. What'd you say, BDELL? What's the answer?
He was saying something about like municipal.
Municipal or superior. What would you suggest about any court dates, whether municipal or superior? Or Rod, you can answer. It doesn't matter. I was just trying to switch it up, but
I mean, really, that shit don't even matter because like it's still based on a corporate legal fiction of a de facto corporation. So they basically, work in synergy. So whether, for superior courts or whether it's municipal, it really doesn't matter because it's all based on fraud.
facts.
They sent me some papers to go to court. I saved some toilet paper.
That part. Because first off, what I do want to answer a little bit on that. Anytime like they send you that's an invitation. So anytime you get sent any type of paperwork from any type of courts, any type of municipal, superior, warrants, any type of tickets, whatever, like I just want to be able to join in on that and let y'all know that that is an invitation to come to their like little circus court. And that is exactly as I said, a circus. So, I mean, if you want to appear or if you show up, that means that you accepted their invitation. And that's on any aspect. So when you accept their invitation, that means that you are, huh?
Somebody mentioned about the kidnappers. They're talking about the policy enforcers coming. And that's a real conscious thing to be aware of because they will send them.
Yeah, they will send. Oh, definitely. Right. They will send them. But at the end of the day, it's still illegal. Like nothing that they doing is actually what you would consider illegal. It is legal according to their legalities or their legalese, which is fucking legalized. Okay.
Okay, now watch this. The less of us support the system by attending, the faster the son bitch come down.
That part. That's what I was
they operate
here.
Right. So what they operating off of batch buying trade, you got to know what they working with. They working off batch buying trade. That means that all of those cases is levying on bonds from everybody who's being called to court, the witness, the defendant, and the victim. All of those, long as their name appear on the court docket, they get to charge a fee on their Social Security indemnity account. This is how they trade them in batch rolls, right? And when they trade them in batch rolls, this is why they got to issue you a case number. Your case number is a collection number. That's why on the dollar bill, the serial number start with a letter. It's the same as the printing of the serial number on the back of the Social Security card, and it's the same as a docket number. A docket got to start with a letter, right? And that's all because the way that they have it structured, those are Roman numerals, right? And the Roman numerals is telling them who owns this batch. They operating as barristers. What's the barrister's job in the royal family? Their job is to administer the affairs of the lords, the landlords, right? So whoever the landlord claim owe him, the barrister's job is to make sure that his affairs are in order. So when they taking you to court for whatever the purpose is, it's all about the landlord levying the lien. Levy is Levi from the tribe of Judah. I mean, from the tribe of Israel, right? The lien is the anagram for Enlil, the Lord of the sky daddy, right? So when they use a systems of levies and liens, then they put you into a legal matrix of superior, inferior jurisdictional claim. You already declared an imbecile in law by the Pope. He declared all of us imbeciles in law.
Yeah,
I had to prove his ass that we wasn't.
Facts.
right? So when you pull the papal decrees, the unum sanctum decrees and other papal bulls, and you say, so you motherfucker said this shit, you don't own me. You don't run shit here. The keys to America is in the contract on the face of the dollar bill in our face, but we don't know what it is. Right? So in order to secure the key to the kingdom, you have to find the key, identify its location, and tell them how to use it. We're using it to close the goddamn coffers. The free meal ticket is over. They already then submitted, and that's what the Declaration of Indigenous Rights Act is all about. It's the we fucked you good. This the note on the table to tell you all of the shit you should be doing to take care of your own asset if you are under imbecile in law. Mm-hmm. It's all right there codified from the giving us back the access to the wealth of the land. Talk about the mineral wealth, the resources the land produce, gross national product, gross domestic product, right? So the Wall Street, a slave trading auction block for years. They never stopped trading slaves in Wall Street. They just went from putting the slaves on the auction block to using them in batch roll trade out of the judiciaries. This is what was supporting the wealth of the world. They got caught stealing laundering $1 trillion in human trafficking money. Yeah, $1 trillion. That's just the last 50 years. Right? They stole over 1 million pounds of gold from us in Fort Knox alone, let alone what they stole in 9/11. Everybody thought that was some terrorists crashing into it. That was the biggest gold heist since they robbed Fort Knox. Mm-hmm. Right? That's where all the gold was on reserve at, under the World Trade Center. Why? Because when you're doing international trade, fiat money does not count as cash, as currency. Only the hard substance. And gold was the claim to fame. When you go back to when they came, they was looking for Cordoba under Cortez, the city of gold. And the elders told them, I don't know what you're looking for. It flew away. It got to come back, though. They went on a bloody rage because it was gone. Mm-hmm. Right? And began slaughtering aimlessly. That was the mass bloodletting ritual in order to send all of the righteous into a stupor. There was the beginning of the fall of the amnesia. Study angels in their relation to your fear. What do it do? This is why they did the bloodletting rituals. So that's why the Haitians had to open up the gates of hell and let these motherfucking obey out to fight the war. We was not here for that. We was here for educational purposes. We wasn't here for warfare. But we got warriors. They just on the background waiting on the motherfucker to activate them. Now they activated. But the greatest strategy, according to the art of war, is to win the victory without the combat. It's a mind game. It's all about strategy. Move for counter move. It's a galactic chess game. The Anunnaki royal family have a tool they use to raise the king. They throw him to the commoners and let him beat him around until he learned how to live like the people. But sooner or later, he's going to wake up to who the fuck he is. That's the story of Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. Right? He roamed around with the beasts of the field. They see us as chattel. What the fuck is that telling us? He was grazing with the beasts of the field and they call us chattel. So all the time, one of these black sheep's gonna grow up to be the fucking goat. So they gotta have it harder than all the rest of them because it's harder to make a diamond than it is to make a lump of coal. Right. You need more time and more pressure. and more heat, right? So once he go through the process, can he claim the kingdom? Enlil said he can't do it. He an idiot, little black son of a bitch, nappy head motherfucker. This is what he said. That little nappy head motherfucker ain't gonna figure out shit, little monkey boy. That's how he felt, being from the earthborn. We ain't never felt bad about being called a monkey, motherfucker. I'm the prime motherfucking ape up in this bitch. Now what? My feelings ain't hurt no more. I'm King Kong in this motherfucker, pounding my goddamn chest, beating on the concrete. Show you motherfuckers that these motherfuckers ain't gonna never beat us. I don't give a fuck. They can go get it from any galaxy they want. All they gonna do when they can't figure it out, they gonna wake my ass up again in the future. You got these new motherfuckers and came in here and hijacked the system. Come fix it. And King Kong gonna be right back, the great motherfucking Thunderbird clapping on their ass. I ain't gonna say nothing until I got him beat. But as soon as I got him beat, you're gonna see my face. Cause I'm gonna be on their social media. I'm gonna be on everybody motherfucking mind that wanna be free. And you can't erase that shit. I'm gonna tell them how to overthrow their ass, how they undermine you and call themselves Yakub grafted double ass, undermining ass, masquerading, false pretense ass, bitch made motherfuckers.
You be reading people fulfilled. Okay, I love that, right? You know, I thought I'd be reading people fulfilled, but woo, you on a whole nother level. You know, we gotta have more conversations so I can pick up on this filth times 15. No, but for real, like somebody, I just want to get to some of the questions because you be going in. We got another question. What happened to, okay, so BDELL, I'm going to send this to you again. What happened to the soul DNA of our ancestors after all of the bloodshed and murder? And how does that soul DNA affect us now? What happens to people who kill after passing? So I'm going to let you answer this, Rod. I'm going to let you answer this, and I might want to chime in on this too, but go ahead.
Okay, from my perspective, the ancient souls of the ancestors, you know, the ones that, you know, started up all these civilizations, as far as like the Anunnaki and things of that nature, the ancient souls of the ancestors, when they died, their souls was extracted into the sun. So when you have these colossal coronal mass ejections that's projecting back down on the planet, that is where you get your whole personification of Holy Ghost particles. And those Holy Ghost particles are basically the activation of the Christ consciousness. So when you're talking about raising up yourself on a mental level, raising up your mental frequency, that's another way to overthrow the system, right? So the activation in itself, like I said, it's the ancestors working through you in the form of a solar flare as well. So like I said, this is where you get your junk DNA activated. This is where you operating on the spirit of Melchizedek, where you can use 90% of your cerebral capacity that connects you to the energetic imprint of the universe, to where you can tap into your Akashic records. So that is, you know, that is the main, you know, the primary source of the revitalization by overthrowing a patriarchal patrilineal system. You have to raise up your mental frequency, and that's the only way that the ancestors are able to work through you, is if you raise up your vibration. So that's what, in my opinion, I think that's where the souls go when they die, and they come back in the form of a solar flare, in the form of activation. But you got to be vibrating at a high frequency to reap the benefits of the esoteric knowledge, of the metaphysical abilities. When you're talking about psychometry, clairvoyance, intuition, if you really vibrating high, levitation. So that's my perspective.
Look, this whole construct is holographic in nature.
I didn't hear what'd you say?
People that kill after passing away is a second part to that question as well. Like if they killed somebody and they passed away.
Look, we eternal beings. We looking at death all wrong.
Thanks.
Most people that kill somebody repent before they die. But repentance is self-forgiveness. I forgive myself for doing what I was too dumb to know I was doing because of my ignorance. And then you remedy it. How do you remedy it? I'm going to replace ignorance with knowledge. Right? I'm gonna replace opinions with love and understanding. Right? But then it go back again to what I said earlier. I'm going to slap a motherfucker straight if they come with that bullshit. I will send they spit clean across the room, red than a motherfucker when it hit the wall. All of that's being imbalanced. If you too righteous until you live in fear, you can't get straight. You can't get right. That's why in all the martial arts movie, the little wimp goes to training until he developed into a warrior. Because they want us to remain the little wimp eternally so they can keep their foot on our neck. But while they thought they had their foot on my neck, I was doing push-ups, nigga. I was just getting stronger. Then I got tired of doing push-ups and decided to stand up. And when I stood up, all them motherfuckers fell down. And I wasn't even mad yet. I was just testing the waters. So when people kill somebody, the ancients believe they absorb their essence, but you absorb their karmic debt. You don't absorb their true essence. You absorb the karmic debt that you didn't allow them to pay because they came in to resolve ancestral karmic debt. Now that karmic debt falls on your shoulders as the one who took that life. You have to carry the burden of raising your consciousness and make that not be an in vain act. Right? That's how you remedy the wrongs. There's always a remedy in the construct. When you leave the construct, you don't take that shit with you. But your consciousness and your awareness of those things still permeate in the atmosphere. And the person who interfered with that process of redemption now have to carry that burden.
So that, do you think that also applies to the fact that, would that create this dynamic of infiltration of disembodied spirits on the planet once, like, as far as like reincarnation?
Yeah, they're not really an infiltration. Right? Some people can carry the torch so far and they can't carry it no more. They get a walk-in. They get a light body that replaces the original person. That's why you hear people be like, I used to hang out and drink with so-and-so, but he don't do nothing no more. He changed his whole life around. He could be a walk-in for sure. Because now he got to clean up all of the karmic debt from the vessel he took on. And if he was any one of the family redeemers, he have to clean that whole vessel up to the point where it redeems all of the rogue energy from the family fuck-ups that's in the bloodline.
Yeah, that's
right?
that karmic debt. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
that's why can't no motherfucker clear your karmic debt for you. Unless they murder you. Because then that karmic debt becomes their own property. When a motherfucker charging you to clear karmic debt, that's an automatic fraud. Can't nobody clear your karma but you and the motherfucker that murder you.
And one thing about God's law, End of the day, fraud is also against law, against God's law. So when it's all said and done,
Mhm.
I just want to like kind of add on that too, because a lot of people ask me about the way spirit has always guided me, as well as my ancestors that I have reincarnated as, because a lot of people don't understand that. We are here to change how we have done things in the past. So if there's some things that need to be cleaned up within your ancestral background, you are here to actually make that difference and make that change. So that's what a lot of whenever you have the background of doing this,
Generational curses.
no curses are the one that's supposed to come. I move the way I'm. For generations to come, because what you do is you clean up the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know that you here to change some shit, and you gonna know. If you here to change some shit and you drop the ball, you ain't gonna do nothing but keep that motherfucking karmic cycle going. You know what I'm saying? Of that bad karmic energy. So, like, you definitely have to be the one to make, like, it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of shit on your shoulders, but you have to know that you're the one that's here to change that shit. So, regardless of how
Hey, they're saying in the comments you breaking up, Driyah.
oh damn, probably because I'm dropping some jewels. So
It
like,
probably will come back up. It'll probably come out on the playback because I can hear you pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
but like at the end of the day, like I said, you know, you here to break those generational curses. You here to change that aspect of what's been happening in your past generational lives, as far as your ancestors' lives. This is your generation. This is your livelihood. This is your lineage. So you here to make a difference in that. So like sometimes people be like, man, this is hard, this and that. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, it's hard. But you know, are you here to be a warrior? Are you here to stand your ground and make this shit change? Are you here to make a difference? Or are you here to just cry about it and be like, oh, this is hard? Like, I'm not gonna tell you this shit easy. Anything that's easy ain't worth having. Bottom line. My ancestors passed that shit on to me. Anything that's easy is not worth having. That means you ain't doing shit if it's easy. But if it's hard, that means you really putting in some motherfucking work. So if y'all feel you're here to make a difference, you're here to change those generational curses. So make that change within your existence right now. Make that your priority, because once you make that your priority, you're making it easier for the generations to come. You're making it easier for your lineage to come. You're bringing the wealth to your lineage. Bottom line, I don't think people really understand that. They really don't. They don't see that. Like, and I'm just getting through the moment right now for me. No, it's not about you. It's about everything that come with you. It's about the whole reason that you came back here in this existence and in this realm right now. So, hey, do what the fuck you gotta do. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Go ahead. Let's read another question. Because for real, people really don't be getting that. They really feel like they just here to do what they need to do, and that's not what it is. Like, you hear.
Yeah. So sometimes your generational curse breaking is resisting the influence of those ancestors who had bad habits.
Yep, and you carry those things,
The
right?
alcoholic ancestor, if right, the alcoholic ancestor can relive through you by you becoming an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you correct that ancestor that wants you to be the alcoholic, all of the ancestors that want you to do right gonna correct him in the energy field between lives. So when he come back, he won't be alcoholic next time because you fought it this time and won.
A lot of y'all.
Right now we got some new shit to fight, some called crack addict.
That's why I tell people all the time, it's always imperative to, you know, oh,
Ancestors is and reaching out to their ancestors and putting out offerings for their ancestors, not understanding everybody ain't your benevolent ancestor. And benevolent means people that are really have your back, and that's really for the well-being of the mission and the journey for your lineage, you know what I'm saying, to pass on and to be able to break those generational curses. Some of them, like they said, are here to keep those generational curses going. So when y'all are sitting up here calling out to your ancestors, make sure you're calling out to the benevolent ones and not the ones that are not for you, you know? So you have to be very careful with that too, but go ahead with that. Sorry.
oh yeah, that's why I was saying, that's why it's very imperative to operate from a place of 0 point energy, because duality a lot of times in the three-dimensional world is not reality. Because, you know, the same shit that make you happy is going to make you sad. Same, you know, you're dealing with polarity, you're dealing with positive and negative, God and the devil. So when you're on a linear state, you cannot be compromised by both sides. So you can still be in a state of evolution by not, you know, subjecting yourself on a certain side, just operating in the middle. So that's why I tell people all the time, you know, polarity in itself is also connected to the aspect of emotionalism, because your emotions is going to deceive you every time. So in order to, you know, balance out that emotional energy with logic, you have to be operating from a place of 0 point energy to where you cannot be compromised by outside stimulation. So that's
The
another point.
emotions,
Excuse me.
your emotions are your navigation system. The
Right.
emotions don't mislead you. You mislead yourself by not knowing how to read them.
Mm.
That's called being self-deluded. You
Right.
act on the emotion before you even determine if it's the right emotion for the condition. Right? So when you realize that it's a navigation system to talk to you on an extrasensory level, and then you begin to process what your emotions is telling you, as opposed to being a victim of your emotional response to everything, right? It gives you a better grasp and understanding of life and how to navigate life, right? So when I tell you, if I'm angry and it's in context and you a sufficient enough threat, you get knocked the fuck down right now. But if I'm angry and I don't feel like it's in the proper context, I'm gonna give you a pass. Because I'm in my emotions now. I'm just feeling some type of way, and I shouldn't be feeling that type of way about what I feel that type of way about.
Right.
So I'm gonna give you a pass. But if it's in context, that means that you're an absolute threat. Now I gotta respond accordingly.
Mm.
And that's why his back get dirty. I'm not finna wait to let you do the shit to me. When my emotions tell me it's coming, it's coming. I trust me enough to know, by knowing the context of the situation and how I feel, what is the proper response for this type of approach. Right? Just same with being happy or sad. Right? When you're talking about 0 point, the practice for that is to sit in a chair in the darkness. Because now symbolically, you're going back to first creation, and then you finna plant a seed in first creation that's supposed to come to fruition tomorrow.
Damn.
That's 0 point energy manifestation. If you use 0 point energy, you go back to primes, the point of creation. You are a co-creator with the creation. So you got an absolute right to exercise your sovereign God ability to sit in God's seat and alter the creation to aid you in living your best life while you're on earth.
Mm. Man,
Facts.
that's heavy right there. Yeah.
Discernment is key. Yes, goddess. I see you. You know, I use that all the time. I tell people that all the time. Discernment is definitely key. We got another question, y'all. I'm trying to list. But 10 million asked, let's chat about decalcifying pineal gland.
Okay.
Well, one of the things in decalcifying the pineal gland is synergy between left and right hemisphere, right? And that synergy is going to start sending energy signatures to the pineal gland to wake it up. There's also other nutritional aids that support that, like moringa and maca, an electric and a magnetic superfood, right? One feeding one side of the brain, the other feeding the other side, because it's an arcing electromagnetic response from left hemisphere to right. So when you get the two sides of the brain in harmony, you have to be in balance to do that. That's going to automatically wake up the pineal gland. It can't stay asleep. And when it wake up, it's going to crack the calcium. It can't be calcified and woke.
Well, on my perspective, you have different intrinsic metals, diatomic metals, monatomic gold. You have colloidal silver, and that puts the body in alignment when you're talking about the endocrine system that's connected to the seven energy cortexes, which is basically the chakras. So that'll basically activate the hypothalamus gland, the thymus gland, which is connected to the heart chakra, and the thyroid gland, to where you're able to flush out certain enzymes and parasites in your body through the lymphatic system that activates the candida enzyme. So that in itself also puts you in alignment to the fact that where you can practice ultra fast internal conversion to where you can eat through the solar panels of your skin. So that's another way you can, decalcify your pineal gland. So you also have to be operating from a place to where you can, fast to speed up your vibration and do a lot of detoxing. So that's another way, to decalcify.
I would definitely, they say every time I talk that it's like breaking up. Damn. Like, I think I'm hating more than y'all.
It is.
You probably are you still connected to are you connected to your Wi-Fi?
I'm literally on my phone now because that's the only, yeah, I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. Hold on, let me see.
Probably.
They say